Welcome to Foundations TV, everyone. We are here today with Geetanjali Soni, who has been teaching chess in the Austin area for almost 15 years
15
now.
years,
Yeah, and she's also a certified tournament director. So, welcome to Foundations TV.
Thank you, Gauri, for having me here. It's such a privilege to be here. I mean, I'm so honored. Thank you for interviewing me for your Foundations TV.
Absolutely a pleasure to have you. So, let's get actually started with your journey.
Yeah.
How did you get into chess and what made you choose chess of
Yeah,
all
chess,
things?
it just fell into my lap, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always been a teacher back in India also. I never thought I would be teaching chess, really. I started with a very completely different background. I'm actually a cosmetologist.
Oh my God, what a shift.
Yeah, so back in India, I taught. I went to the courses Shanaz Hussain, and then I went to. I'm a certified board certified cosmetologist, and then I worked in India as a cosmetology professor in the colleges.
Wow.
And because with my background, my father was in the Air Force, and we moved so much, so I had different opportunities to do various things.
Sure.
And always starting from scratch. So when we moved to a new state, again starting from scratch. So
Yeah.
it was just part of me, exploring things and doing different things. And then finally, again, coming back to being the teacher. I've always been a teacher. So when my dad got posted to Pune, I started my own um, teaching cosmetology to the airmen, the ladies in the Air Force station. And, I loved it. I loved to teach. Chess was not in the picture at that time.
Yeah.
So until I came to the US, and I'm like, I told my husband, I want to continue teaching. He said, okay, you do what you want to do. When we went to beauty schools, I wanted to teach just what I was doing, right? And they said, oh, you have to get a license to teach here, and you have to go back to school. And then I'm like, if I have to go back to school, I might as well go and do something to, for education, right? So I went back to Texas State. I got my teaching degree. I'm a licensed teacher.
Wow.
Texas licensed teacher, a valid Texas licensed teacher. And then I got into school, started teaching in schools in Round Rock ISD. And then, by then I had my daughter. She was born.
Yeah.
And she went to a Montessori school. And in Montessori, they have these little setups.
Right.
Where they have,
activities and things that kids
there
can
was a
do.
chess set there.
Uh-huh.
And Anushka came back saying, Mama, I want to learn chess. I said, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And so that triggered in my head, in my brain, like,
That's an
chess
avenue.
can be taught,
Yeah.
right? And these kids are learning other things. Why not chess?
Yeah.
So that's when it first started in 2009.
Wow.
And then, of course, then I got a job in the Meridian School, and I became the enrichment coordinator. And then at that time, it became even more important for me to find activities for now Meridian School children, AAA, because I was the coordinator, and I had people working for me saying, Miss Soni, what are we doing today? So I had to create activities,
Sure.
enrichment activities, I started teaching yoga as one of the things because I knew yoga. I'm a certified yoga instructor.
Oh my goodness me. Look at you.
So then I taught yoga, and then they said, okay, what else can I do? And then it occurred to me, why not chess?
Yeah.
And at that time, I was not certified to
Okay.
teach chess. It was
Okay.
just a thought.
Yeah.
And then there was a tournament that happened in our school in 2013. And I became the manager for that chess because they needed a manager on
Yeah.
site.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting for me to see the passion, the enthusiasm of, the parents and chess and the kids. I'm like, wow, and so I kept that in the back of my head. I said, this is possible.
Yeah.
And I started the program in after school program
Okay.
as chess. And I was the only one who knew how to play.
Oh, really?
So then I had to teach it
Yeah.
to my my group leaders.
Yeah.
Because they had to go teach the kindergartners or the first grade, second grade. So first I have to teach them, and they go teach them,
Right.
the other kids, right?
Right.
But finally, I became the main instructor there.
Okay.
And over time, like within a few 6, 7 months, I had parents come to me, ask me, can you do private classes?
Yeah.
Because they saw that, the
Yeah.
child is interested in
Yeah,
how I'm
for
teaching.
sure, for sure.
I thought about it. I said, I'd check with my husband. I said, are you okay if people come home? I
Yeah.
said, okay. And he's been very supportive. My husband, Ramesh, in this journey with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to do this.
Yeah.
So he said, sure, let's try that. And then I started with 2 students.
Uh-huh.
So Saturday, and then that became 4.
Hmm.
And then that became 16 in my house.
Oh my goodness me. Wow.
So then we started this Sunday batch.
Yeah.
So Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday school, it was getting so much. Like, I
Yeah.
loved it. But it was
Yeah.
very hectic for us. Every day, 11 to 3, we are busy teaching chess.
Yeah.
And he's helping me set up the room because we have to put the tables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, doing it. And so that's how we, it evolved basically,
Yeah.
Um, and then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's like we can't have people come over, we can't meet, so the in-person kind of went away,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then I thought, and I was still working at Meridian then.
Okay.
So I decided, my daughter was already in high school by then.
Yeah.
I decided to, just do this as a whole, because I was like, what do I do now,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went and got certified
Okay.
to teach online chess.
Oh, okay.
And I became a local coach,
Yeah.
district coach.
Yeah.
And of course, I was already a TD because I was already conducting tournaments with this other group, Rocks and Rooks.
Mm-hmm.
So that set the
Tone
for, yes, I think I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
My line is changing. And I love it, and I always tell everybody, if your hobby can become your job,
That's the best. Yeah, that's absolutely
right?
beautiful.
And
It looks like a really
I love this
full of
so much.
passion, journey for you, and just kind of came together all along, and things worked out really well for you internally with your family as well as for the students and your own,
Absolutely.
sort of.
And these are
what you
not just
wanted to do.
students; they become, they are like my family members
part of
now.
your own
Because I'm
family,
so
yeah.
involved with
Right.
their success. I
Right.
want to get them somewhere. It's not just learn and So I look for committed parents.
That's important too, actually. That's a very important point. Now, have you had, like, during this journey, do you have these memorable moments that, you just cherish?
Oh yeah, there are times I meet my students who were first graders and now are in middle school and high school, and then I'm at a tournament and suddenly Miss Soni, I have to look up like this,
I
and
know,
say,
they were like little and now grown
so
up.
Miss Soni, you remember me? I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm not recognized, especially boys. You can't recognize them.
Yeah,
Hair is grown, they are tall,
transform. Yeah.
right? And I'm like, please tell me your name.
Yeah.
Miss Soni, I'm Arjun. It's, oh yes, I remember you now.
Right.
So those are moments, that make it worthwhile.
It's so
Because they'll come back,
gratifying,
so
yeah.
gratifying. They come back and thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm here because of you, Thank you for
Yeah.
helping me learn chess.
That's amazing. Yeah, that is amazing. And I guess that's probably one of your favorite things about
That is
this,
it. That
right?
that keeps me going,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, coming to the kids, how do you make it fun and engaging? Because chess can be intensive, right?
Very.
It's competitive, it's intense, there's a lot of learning that goes in, but you also want it to be fun and engaging for the children. So how do you do that?
So I teach chess to 4-year-olds.
Wow.
And I also teach chess to high schoolers. And so I have a different curriculum that I follow for preschool and high school. So the in-person curriculum that I have, it's for, and all this I learned after COVID finished, because that was my experimental time. And I realized kids can't do online chess, especially 4 to 8 years old.
It's hard.
It's very hard for them.
They have to be in person.
Yeah. So then I created the program for in-person chess for these preschoolers till 7th grade. And so it's very fun, hands-on learning, including like we are doing movement, like the knights move. It's not just on the board. We actually walk like a knight.
Oh my God.
One,
That's
two,
so
turn.
fun.
1, 2, turn.
That's amazing.
So we kind of do that exercise, like if
That's
you're a
great.
knight, show me how you move. You are a
Wow.
pawn. You can't go backwards, remember?
Oh,
You
that's
can only go
amazing.
forward. So we walk like a pawn. We
Yeah.
walk like a knight. We walk like the king. King is the old man.
Yeah.
He can't walk too fast.
Oh, that's so cute.
So he can only go short
That
distances.
is amazing.
But the queen is so fast. She can
Yeah.
just zoom across the board.
Oh my goodness me. That is super fun.
So very hands-on, movement-based
Yeah,
learning, so they can grasp how these friends, we call them friends. These are 6 friends, right?
yeah.
6 friends. They are friends, and how the friends walk and move and how they capture,
Yeah.
right? And so when they come from learning chess from home, sometimes I have students, the parents are teaching them, right?
Yeah.
And they will use words that, I am going to kill your piece.
Oh yeah.
So then I make sure that we are not using
those words.
It's
Yeah.
capture or attack.
Yeah.
And even after telling them, if I hear these words,
Yeah.
in class, I call the parent.
Yeah.
I said, because now I have to educate the parent.
Yeah.
Because this is not enough, because they are going back and learning the wrong words and coming back.
Yeah.
So actually, I'm extending this knowledge to the parents.
Yeah.
I will call them and I say, hey, I know you're helping your child to learn better, which is absolutely okay. This is a social game, and I encourage and I thank you for helping your child learn and participate, but let me teach you the right way also.
Yeah.
And they really appreciate that,
Yeah.
And I tell them, if you ever have a question, just pick up the phone
Yeah.
and call me, and I'm here for you.
Yeah.
I will tell you exactly how to talk, use the correct verbiage, because this is not a camel, this is not a horse, it's not a pony,
Yeah.
this is a knight.
Yeah. Use the right terminology as well.
Because in India, we grew up like that. And I was learning chess in India from my dad, and he would call it, this was a camel,
Yeah.
elephant.
Yeah.
So I know that they're not wrong.
Yeah.
They're wrong.
It's just the way they haven't been taught the right way.
Yeah, because we are in US, and
Yeah.
the kids, USCF championships, we have to learn the right way, the terminology.
Yes.
So then I have to go back and teach the parents, like, this is the right, the name of the pieces need to be respected the right way.
Absolutely. Now you teach all ages, so people come to you. But do you have like a recommended starting age of when
Absolutely.
you think
Yes. There is. So I get calls from parents who have 5-year-olds. And so I ask them, is it a boy or a girl?
Oh, really? That matters too?
It matters, yeah.
Okay.
I would take a 5-year-old girl.
Really?
Oh, but 5-year-old boys need more time.
They just, you feel the activity level is
yeah, and you have a boy, so I think you can relate to that, right?
Yes.
And I have a girl.
Yes.
So when Anushka was 5, I know she was ready. And she started learning piano. And 4.5 years, she was learning piano, and I introduced her to different things, and she was able to absorb, take it in. But at the same time, a 4.5-year-old boy was still trying to play with, they're trying to do this, and trying to do, they're not ready.
Yeah.
These are toys for them.
That's interesting.
So 6-year-old is a good age for boys.
Yeah. That's good to know. That's a very interesting fact. I never thought of it that way. I'm sure it's very helpful for the parents too. Now, as the children start to learn chess, do you see that they start to develop other skills in relation to what they're learning here as well? Does that help them outside of the chess world?
Absolutely. Chess is, I would recommend all kids, especially kindergarten to 4th grade, students should do chess, because it helps them with math, focus, memory, and then when they go to tournaments, that teaches them sportsmanship. Because kids all the time, not just for kids, this is a thing with the parent too. As soon as they finish a game, they're going to ask the child, did you win? And so the child is under so much pressure, that, and they actually, I've seen children cry in the tournament room because they can't go back and face the parents.
Oh my God.
So this becomes something that I have to now educate the parents.
Yes.
Make it like a fun game. Make it about learning from your experience, learning from your mistakes. It's just a game.
Yeah.
So those are some things, our parents need to, help our children, see, make it a sportsmanship kind of game.
So it's also how to learn to not win.
Not win. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. There, I tell my parents, I tell my children, in fact, my first lesson is there are only 3 results in chess. There are only 3 results. You can win the game, you can draw it, or that's called a tie, or you can learn from it.
Lovely.
So there is no loss.
Yeah.
There's never a loss. Okay, even grandmasters like Magnus Carlsen, and now we have Gukesh, right? And they haven't got there because they were winning all the games.
Yeah.
They are here because they lost the games. So I tell my children, my students, like, think about a baby. Unless he falls down, how will he get up?
He would know how
Right?
to get up. Yeah.
If he starts to walk and he falls, then only he'll get up and try again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So don't be scared of falling. It's okay.
Yeah. That's a super, and actually that's a life skill. That's something that's gonna carry forward above and beyond the chess as well, because in life, especially in school and other competitions and SATs, as they go through, sometimes there's multiple times you have to take it. College admissions, and then things happen, but then like you said, there are only 3 outcomes.
True. Yeah. And then, if this helps them, say, okay, there's another chance.
Yes.
We can do it again, get up and do. And it's very important for parents to realize, because they feel that pressure, right?
Yeah.
So they should not show that to their children, like, that pressure. They should, okay, don't worry, try it again. It's okay. It's just a game. Very hard for parents.
That's a good point, though. I mean, it's not just a training of the children; it's training of the parents alongside the children. So, have you had like times when parents have been a little more eager, and you've actually told them, "Hold off"?
Absolutely, really? Yes. Oh, every time. In fact, every time I have a new student, not only do I have a conversation with the child, it is very important for me to talk to the parent, because I tell the parent, I want you involved. I want your support.
Yeah.
But I want the right type of support, and I want commitment from you. Like, this is not like, okay, let's do 1 or 2 and then forget about it, because this is not that game.
Correct.
Right? It's going to take practice, and it's going to take help from you, because if you don't know how to play chess, then the child thinks he's all alone, right? Then he has to wait for some other friend to play with. But if you open a chessboard at home and just play, the child will start teaching you that, hey, Mommy Soni taught us this move, we want to know about it. And I want to see that interest in you also, to support the child. Spend time with your child, it's a beautiful game.
Right. So do you have like a recommended time when you say, like a child has played for this long, then they're ready to play in tournaments?
Yes.
Or how do you decide and recommend that?
So it is extremely important, that so the way the tournaments are set up, they are in sections. So there's kindergarten to 3rd grade, kindergarten to 5th grade, 6th grade to 12th grade. So a child will never play, let's say a 3rd grader will actually never play a 12th grader. They will play within the section.
Got it.
Okay. So one thing that parents tell me is, I played a game with him and he doesn't play right, or he's not, I'm winning all the time. I said, definitely you're winning. You're the adult.
Not at the same section. True.
That's not the real, way to judge a child.
Right.
Have him play with a friend of his age and see how he plays.
Yeah.
Right? Because in a tournament, he'll never play you or the coach or the adult. He's going to play kindergarten to 3rd grader.
Right.
And so what I did was, I started every Sunday, I have students come over and I set up the boards and I have children play with each other. And these are my students. Sometimes these are other students who are learning other online, wherever they are learning. So they get a chance to actually play with each other within the section. And when I notice myself, then, they are confident, they are winning games within that section, I recommend that to the parents, like, your child is ready. Okay, because I don't want to send a child to a tournament and they get defeated and they didn't get a medal. Right? So yes, I am very competitive myself that way. I want my students to win, but when they're ready. So I can judge that. Over so many years, Just when two students sit down to play and I just watch the game, I can tell who's going to win
Yeah.
within a few moves, just how they play.
Yeah.
Right. So I usually tell the parents sometimes, just let's give it a little more time.
Yeah.
Because he needs to learn a little more.
Yeah.
Which is a loss actually, learn or loss. So they need to learn more.
Yeah. Now that's interesting. You're a tournament director yourself, and you've seen so many students, not only your own, but other students also play within the tournaments.
Yes.
So have you like sort of figured out like this is like a common mistake that happens all across the students during tournaments? Is there something that come out of that tournaments as well?
So in a tournament, a student is supposed to play 5 games.
Okay.
That's a tournament. It's a Swiss style tournament. It's not elimination. So the first, second, third, fourth, fifth round. And then as their rating goes up, like say I've played the first round and won the first round, I'm paired with another student who may have won the first round also.
Okay.
So the computer does the pairing.
Got it.
There's a computer program called WinTD that is used, and the computer automatically pairs the students.
Got it.
Some two students come out in like at the tournament, like shake hand, start the game, and then I'm just standing there. I'm done. They raise a hand, and I already know. I can just see what happened, and he just did a scholar's mate.
Oh.
And scholar's mate is a 4-move checkmate.
Oh wow.
Right, and then he won.
Wow.
So these are called traps. These are chess traps that they need to be learned.
Okay.
So the student who doesn't know about the trap will get trapped.
Right.
And there's another chess move called the fool's mate, which is chess checkmate in 2 moves.
Okay. Wow.
And then I've seen those checkmates too. Like I can already tell that he's attacking the F pawn over there.
Yeah.
And his queen is attacking and the bishop is attacking the F pawn, and I call it Freddy.
Okay.
So poor Freddy got attacked.
Yeah.
So we look out for Freddy.
Okay.
Say, Miss Soni, I got Freddy. Okay.
Yeah. So there are some special preparation that has to be done for getting the child ready for the
Yes,
tournament.
absolutely. Playing on the board is absolutely a must.
Yeah.
You cannot play online. You cannot learn online, and now you're going and playing in person.
Yeah.
Tournament.
Yeah.
It is a complete different world. It's a complete different medium.
Wow.
Online is easier because you can actually make arrows and circles on the board, and you can actually predict the moves. But here it's all, you have to think one step ahead. If I'm going to do this, what is my opponent going to do? Right. So some kids have trouble sitting down, and I have told them just stand up and play.
Yeah.
Because even I like to stand up and play. Because sitting down is like
sometimes
I'm
you're
passive.
Not thinking. You're like
and it's allowed. The kids can actually stand up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, they can just walk around the table if they want to.
Get their minds sort of.
So a lot of kids, this absolutely I let them do it.
Wow.
So if that helps you think better, do it. As long as chess is a quiet game.
Yeah.
As long as you're not disturbing your opponent, making sounds and noises to distract any other people around you, you're welcome to do all this.
And that's allowed in the tournaments also?
Yes, they can stand up and play. Absolutely, yes.
Got it.
The TDs are not allowed to interfere in a game unless a child raises a hand.
Got it.
And that's one thing a lot of kids don't know.
Yeah.
And let's say a student is threatening, I'm going to get your queen. I'm going to win this game. They're kibitzing about their own games, which is not allowed. And the child raises his hand, calls the TD. Now it's a complaint. The TD himself cannot come. Even if I'm watching, I'm hearing, I cannot interfere in your game because it's your game.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good tip, because a lot of times, parents will perceive this as she was watching and she didn't do anything about it. But you cannot, just per the rules, you have to be asked for help versus, you volunteering that.
Absolutely. So that's actually a part of the rules of chess. When we start the game, we say, if you have any questions, if you have anything that's bothering you, raise your hand. Because unless you don't raise your hand, I cannot help you.
Yeah.
So they get that now.
That's good. Now, has it transformed, like in the Austin scene, I would say, particularly in the world of chess, have you seen over the last 15 years?
Too much. Oh my gosh,
Tell
it's
us more
exploded
about that.
so much. Like initially, like I said, I was just in a Meridian little school over there teaching my chess. There was only one tournament organizer,
Yeah.
Rocks and Brooks, Mr. Gary Guy. He was the one organizing tournaments, and whenever he organized, he would invite me because I was a TD, and so
Yeah.
I've always been his team TD. But slowly, as interest grew, there's a website called AustralianChessTournaments.com, and if anybody's interested, it is Dallas, Waco, Houston, anywhere there's tournaments, it's on that website.
Got it.
So a lot of people used to drive to Waco.
Oh, that far.
Yeah, they would drive to get to play, and some of my students would bring back trophies.
Yeah.
Because the competition was easier there.
Okay.
Right, so they knew they would win.
Yeah.
So big trophies.
Yeah. And so it was about winning for them.
For them, yeah, it was worth the drive.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
because it's a smaller tournament, and
Yeah.
they would win, and that was working out well. And then slowly, as years pass, we have the Austin Grand Academy, which is now opened up, Grand Masters Academy, and they hold a lot of tournaments there. They have a big facility now. So certainly, now chess is a big thing in person, online. And I send my students to Austin Grandmasters Academy because after they finish my curriculum, the parents ask, what now, Miss Soni? We have finished your curriculum. They have a certificate from me. They are in a tournament. They've got their trophies. But now what? I said, don't stop now.
That's amazing.
Because if you stop now, all this knowledge will get wasted. So you need to keep going, keep going in competitions, do tournaments. And so then I refer them to go to Grandmaster Academy, go play with the Grandmaster, see how that feels. And they're here now in Austin. So certainly things are looking up.
Do you see or anticipate any further enhancements or changes in the next 5 to 10 years?
With our AI and with the
who knows, right?
Kids are when I'm teaching them chess, I'm also using websites to teach them, to show them because we are online, and so they can see a game. So now I'm teaching them how to fish. Right, which is important. So if they have ever a question, they don't have to wait for me. Miss Soni, I have to ask you a question. Say, go search it. And come back and tell me, what did you learn? So I want the kids to be, think out of the box, find different openings, end games, patterns.
And stay relevant with the new offerings that the world has right now,
Correct.
the world of AI. And
yes. So, and then it's just going to open it up so much. And now we have Gukesh from India, who won. He's the current world champion. Magnus was, for the longest time, he was holding that torch. And then Din Laren, he won because Magnus decided not to participate. That was the reason why. So I tell my students, like, if you don't participate, how will you win? It's important to participate.
That's interesting. Well, you're making me want to come and learn chess from you now.
It is a fun,
such an engaging
fun
conversation. Now, speaking of you, if you were given a chance to play with somebody,
yeah,
current or historical figure, whoever you want, like, who would that be and why?
That would be Bobby Fischer.
Oh,
Bobby James Fischer, because he was at that time. He played it was called the game of the century. He was only 13. And because I like him because he plays with principles, the way I teach chess. So chess principles are like, how do you start the game correctly? So I always tell the students, knights before bishops. Knights before bishops.
That's good.
If the knight is out and then the bishop is out, and you castle. Right, so that is the right way to start a game. He would do that. He would play very principled way of starting a game. So and I teach my students the right way to start a game. Like if you're starting with a pawn, or like, this is not a good move. Right, you want to control the center. So those are things that kids have to be taught. Like, and then I teach them the diagonals, how to visualize the board. The lines, the straight lines, these are called ranks, and files and diagonals, center control. Each square has a name. It's called a coordinate. So there's A1, B1, C1. So I teach the kids to start talking in this chess language. So knight to C6.
Yeah.
So it's uppercase N,
Yeah.
lowercase c, number 6. Okay, that's the reason why bishop is uppercase B, and there's a file B. So not to confuse, did you move the bishop, or is it the file you're talking about?
Got it. Got it.
So all the pieces are uppercase,
Yeah.
and the coordinates are lowercase.
Yeah. Yeah. These are tips and tricks that, somebody being online or reading online is not going to really get. It's
Yeah.
always easier to learn from,
Yeah.
a certified person. That's really good. That's amazing. Now, if you were to describe chess in 3 words, what would those be?
Practice, consistency, and learning from your mistakes.
Love that. Love that. I think that's a general rule of life. I think you kind of summarized it really well, right?
Yeah.
Let's practice consistency and learn from your mistakes. And I think on that note, I do want to thank you for being part of our conversation series today. It's been a joy speaking to you. I learned so many things. I'm sure our audiences will learn a lot too. And I know Austin is really privileged and honored to have you here, somebody who takes such a personal interest in every student, that comes to you to learn chess. So
thank you, Gauri, for having me.
Thank you for
It's an
being here.
honor.